Hello ladies and gents, it's Hagbard Celine here on another beautiful afternoon, and today we're going to be discussing the Colin Kaepernick incident. We're going to be discussing it somewhat tertially because we'll be discussing some reactions to it. The first clip I'm going to be presenting I found on the YouTube page John Horse, which I've been to a couple of times for the sake of checking out the more, let's call them ludicrous conspiracy theories, which I've discovered are floating around the black community. The second was chosen because, as unpopular an opinion as this may be, I actually like Shaquille O'Neil, and I think he's a charming motherfucker, and I have a lot of respect for the way that he's carried himself after his career. That laid out, the only thing left to clarify are my personal views on whether or not one should stand and put one's hand over heart for the pledge. When it comes to everyday people, I don't think anyone cares. I think many people choose to not stand and other people choose to stand depending on their varying degrees of patriotism. Public figures, however, are different. It's not to say that they don't have the same right to choose not to stand or to acknowledge the ceremony. However, they do not share the same privilege of not being a public spectacle when they do it. The backlash that these people then experience rests solely with them. I think this difference can be easily and readily explained if we use the idea that I, as a private citizen, can sleep around on my wife, and likelihood is it won't be made a national incident of. However, when Bill Clinton does the same, we can't say, oh, come on, everyone's wanted to fuck someone else, it's not like he did something special. Well, no, but he did it while in a position that made it a public matter. Without further ado, and before we get to any more reasoned dialogue, let's just watch the video entitled "Black Athletes Are Cowards, Scared of NFL and NBA, Who Refuse to Publicly Support Colin Kaepernick." It's a bit of a wordy title. It could use work.
Back on this Kaepernick shit, though, man.
Shit.
The brother Kaepernick refused to stand up for the little puss-ass flag, and I feel like it was a great thing. I'm glad they brought attention to it.
Well, that's good, ladies and gents. We can all rest assured that Fat Flava Flav agrees.
Which, by the way, is not required by the NFL. Let them tell it, because that's what they said after that happened. Mm-hmm. But they said in the NBA, that's a different story.
Yeah. All but you NBA niggas, what you gonna do? They gonna kick all y'all out the league? Ooh. Y'all gonna stand like good boys?
I've noticed this pattern in the black community. They tend to use racial language in an attempt to shame their fellow black people. It's vaguely amusing to watch if it weren't so damned sad.
You ain't gonna never get back at what they did for Abdul Rauf? Remember him? Chris Jackson, the first AI?
Yeah.
The quickest.
He wouldn't stand for that puss-ass flag.
He had the quickest release, too.
Lost his wife.
Shoot that thing.
You hear me, though?
Yeah.
Lost his wife. Old boy in the Olympics. Who?
Yeah.
Like he said, I lost all my friends, my wife. Yeah.
So he's acknowledging that they lost everything they cared about and their careers. However, he's going to say that you lost nothing, and you got exactly what you wanted, which is to be free of these evil, evil people. He doesn't seem to understand that simply by merit of his skin tone, these people are not required to throw their futures, their careers, and their personal lives away to stand up for supposed racial injustice that most of them don't see.
You ain't lose shit. You shed it dead weight.
Oh.
Fuck them. Kaepernick ain't married, though, is he?
No, he's player, though. He's out there, though.
He out there, that dick in the streets, boy.
And, of course, we've immediately devolved to my dick.
That nigga, he stand up to wash up. I know that, boy. You ain't gonna sit down and wash up. That sack don't get done right.
Sir, why are you discussing the cleanliness of another man's testicles? Are you perhaps a bit curious?
That's a good-looking young man.
No,
right
but
there.
I will say this.
Yeah, on the
in the big argument about not standing, or not putting your hand over your heart or whatever for the national anthem or the whatever it is, pledge of what is it?
National anthem.
National anthem.
I don't respect it.
Yeah, y'all motherfuckers don't respect a goddamn thing, and watch while you prove it live on camera.
Here's the thing.
Oh, say
This is what they're
can
missing.
that flag kiss
If you
my
listen-
black motherfucking ass.
Hold it.
Uh-oh.
Just a bloated, disrespectful, retarded man singing the national anthem with remade lyrics over his co-host. Zero respect. Now I want you to keep this picture in mind when we finally get to Shaquille O'Neil.
No, but if you listen to some of the things that he pointed out,
Yes, like what?
that's the real crux of why he's not standing, and that's not getting any media airtime.
Oh, well, this is an independent media platform. Here you have a chance to explain these issues. Please do enlighten us. What issues was he bringing attention to, friend?
All they doing is talking about his protest. Oh, he didn't stand up. He didn't cover his heart. He didn't
obey.
acknowledge it. But then, wait a minute. Go to why he's not doing it.
Right.
Right, sure, yes. Now is your chance. Explain to us what the media hasn't been covering. What was the point of the protest? Please, I'm intrigued. Go on.
That's what we're not talking about.
Well, what
and
he
that's
did,
why he did it.
he
to bring
calmly-
attention to that.
I think
Well, that was it. That was your opportunity, bud. Right there, you could have very easily pointed out the issues that you apparently would like to bring attention to, but instead, you spent it bitching. You spent it complaining that these issues that you supposedly know weren't getting coverage.
he's the only one, right, in the NFL.
Right.
I don't know if he the only one.
He's not. There are at least two others, and apparently the entire women's soccer league or some such shit.
But I'll put it like this.
Oh, dude, for sure don't. You're only gonna make it worse.
A lot of niggas cannot afford not to stand because
Because they disagree and are too principled and interested in the future of their careers to consider jumping on to a fashionable bandwagon?
they know them hoes they fuck with ain't solid with them like that.
No, of course not. Just my dick part 2.
They don't want to disrupt their family. That bitch would be like, you kicked out the league.
It's over, man.
Hold on, wait.
Imagine a significant other being upset that you lost your livelihood over some petty bullshit that you're not even remotely involved with.
Well, what the fuck we gonna do?
This pussy closed until further notice, nigga.
In that
Imagine being this shameless a stereotype, this ridiculously overhyped a stereotype, complaining about racism in America. Seriously, just look at this picture. Look at these people. And realize that these walking stereotypes, these embarrassments, are complaining about racism. And they want to say, fuck America. Well, from most of America, let me tell you, fuck you, friend. Now, on to an adult talking about the situation. Mind you, I support the speaker and not the platform. Thank you.
What do you think about that, Shaq? You heard Heather's last story.
Hell, I wish he'd seen what we just saw, but unfortunately I don't think that's ever going to happen. That being said, what they're referring to is the Colin story.
I mean, to each his own. It's something I wouldn't do.
Please take note of the differential he has already established there. What he said was, it's not something I would do, but to each their own. That is the core and the root of what it is to accept the concept of individualism. That is being an individual.
You know, his comments were there are injustices. There have always been injustices. You know, me personally, I would probably go about it a different way.
This is a respectful concession and acknowledgement of your points and a disapproval of your methods. This is not hard to understand. Of course, according to the last clip, this man is a race traitor, so we all have to sit uncomfortably with that. But only for a moment, because he is now going to ask what I think is the most scathing and revealing of questions.
You know, my question is, what happened last year? How come you didn't decide to do this last year or the year before that or the year before that?
Probably because they know then, when it wasn't an air that this was normative, they would have immediately been slapped down. This wouldn't have even been an issue. The entire country would have looked and gone, dude, come on, why do that?
So I don't know Colin, but again, to each his own. I don't really have a say on it, but I would never do that. My father was a military man.
as I imagine are many NFL fans of every ethnicity.
And, you know, he protect this country. Uncles are in law enforcement. You know, they go out and work hard every day.
Impossible. You're saying you have uncles in law enforcement. Wait, is it possible you have uncles that are white, or...
Just, you know, other ways to get your point across.
So you're an African American. You're an African American.
Wait, did you just look away for confirmation for a moment to see that indeed he was an African American?
So you're an African American. You're an African American.
He's so nervous just saying it.
So you're an African American. You're an African American.
You're an African American.
Ah, you poor bastard.
And a lot of people feel as though, from your perspective, you should be standing with Colin Kaepernick, but you also are pro-military and pro-cop. Can you be both?
According to them, no.
Yes, I can be both. Again, you know, my thing is, you know, you have to enter onto the scene one way. You know, people like Muhammad Ali and Bill Russell, they were one way their whole career. You can't show us something and then go to another just because of, you know, certain issues. Again, I'm aware of all the issues, but, you know, my question is, how come you didn't do it last year? Or how come you didn't do it when you first entered the NFL? Again, I don't know, Colin, to each his own. You know, he has his, you know, it's his, you know, constitutional right to do that, but I would never do that.
And I think Shaquille O'Neil here has made perhaps the most salient and competent point of anybody that I've seen interviewed about this. He's not willing to kowtow to collectivist ideologies because he was raised in a household where him being an individual, and a supreme individual, an individual capable of excellence, was a good thing. This is a man who is quoted as having saying that once when driving through one of the nicer neighborhoods, he realized that of all the people in his family, he was probably the only one who would be able to give them this, the nice life. And he did so, quite happily buying his mother a house with his first few $1 million. It actually landed him in a hole financially, and he had to get an accountant afterwards, which he'd never had before. But his first priority was buying his mother a house. Colin Kaepernick, on the other hand, is a self-centered, self-aggrandizing, self-promoting dickhole riding the wave of black power that's currently sweeping this nation, taking advantage of it, and making himself a name on it. It's disgusting. That's it for me, ladies and gents. I hope you had a little bit of fun and understand a little bit more where I stand on this particular issue. I don't think you have to stand for the flag. I don't think you have to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance or the National Anthem. However, if you do so while holding a public position of, frankly, any sort, if you're in the limelight in any way, shape, or form, and you attempt to use this platform for political means, and it backfires, all I'm going to do is sit back and laugh. On that note, I'll leave you with this. Stay safe, good luck, and goodbye.
I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight